One morning, the world collectively realized that no babies were being born. Not a single crying infant anywhere. Hospitals checked, clinics confirmed, and midwives stared awkwardly at empty delivery rooms that smelled like lemon sanitizer. You check your phone expecting birth announcements. Instead, global headlines scream, "Human reproduction, discontinued, cause unknown." Scientists launched emergency conferences, hoping the fertility bug was a glitch, like a temporary Wi-Fi outage. No such luck. Some blamed climate change, others blamed 5G towers, and one guy blamed oat milk for weakening humanity's life juice. You scroll through Reddit wondering, is this the end of our species or just a weird phase like NFTs? Within a week, Google Trends showed searches for vasectomy reversal dropped to 0, replaced by "what now?" Grocery stores put diapers on clearance, while stroller companies rebranded to sell carts for senior dogs and picnic wine. You walk through Target and see the baby section slowly morph into yoga mats, aromatherapy, and silence. Governments, surprisingly calm at first, declared it a temporary lull, like a baby strike, not a biological dead end. Pope Francis held mass asking for divine sperm. Meanwhile, Elon Musk tweeted, "Guess it's up to me now." You attend a town meeting and hear your mayor casually say, "Well, at least traffic will get better soon." Short-term, schools turned into co-working spaces, playgrounds into dog parks, and ice cream trucks just played smooth jazz. With no new toddlers incoming, the preschool teacher shortage instantly vanished, alongside Paw Patrol marathons and sticky handprints. You realize with a strange mix of guilt and glee, you'll never have to attend another kid's birthday party. Dating apps shifted priorities. Once kids became still fertile, then finally willing to co-parent a parrot. Universities panicked, not about enrollment, but about having no one left to make graduation speeches by 2090. You imagine explaining this to your younger self. No, little me, you're actually part of the last batch. Governments offered fertility incentives, but quickly realized you can't bribe biology with cash, cupcakes, or catchy jingles. A black market for miracle babies emerged, selling hope in jars, which turned out to be glitter and regret. You see influencer couples try to fake pregnancies for clout, but people stop falling for balloon bumps by week 2. Economists predicted a gray tsunami. Not a flood, but a slow, majestic rise of elderly power walkers. Retirement homes became the new housing boom, while toy stores turned into hearing aid boutiques with pastel signage. You visit grandma and realize she's part of the last generation to see both a grandchild and a teenager. Fashion adapted, baby bump dresses out, mobility-friendly jumpsuits in, accessorized with stylish pill organizers. You start to notice a strange shift in culture. Fewer bedtime stories, more memoirs and documentaries on loop. Daycares offered nostalgia zones, rooms full of old toys, lullabies, and the faint smell of mashed banana. You try to recall the sound of a baby crying, and oddly, you kind of miss it. Museums opened new exhibits titled The Age of Children, like dinosaurs, but with Lego and sticky juice boxes. Every new child became a national treasure, pampered, protected, paparazzi'd like the last golden egg of humanity. You wonder if your niece, now 8, will grow up thinking she's the star of a Truman Show. Politicians scrambled to redefine the future. Speeches started with, "in the next 5 decades," or "until we expire." Robotics surged, not just workers, but baby bots designed to make gurgling sounds and pee on command. You hold a robot baby at a tech expo, and for a second it almost feels like something real. The workplace changed too. No more maternity leave, just existential crisis sabbaticals with optional wine therapy. You and your coworkers debate, should we invest in biotech or just buy beachfront property and enjoy the countdown? Some treated the situation like a slow apocalypse. Others saw it as the ultimate permission to stop saving for college. You see end-of-line parties popping up, half funeral, half rave, all existential. Bumper stickers now read "Last Gen, Best Gen" or "Make Earth Quiet Again." Every day starts to feel like a long Sunday evening, calm but with a growing weight in the chest. Celebrities began legacy tours, not for music, but just to be remembered by someone still alive in 2080. A viral video shows a 3-year-old singing the alphabet, and the world collectively cries like it's the last Beatles song. You check your social feed and it's mostly pets, wine, and people planting trees they'll never see grow. The UN passed a resolution declaring each child a global citizen, with 25 godparents and a security detail. Toy companies launched AI dolls that grow up with you, until you realize it's just a glorified Tamagotchi. You attend a wedding where the vows include, "We promise to love, cherish, and never raise children together." Suddenly, legacy becomes everything. Memoir sales soar, family trees are printed like limited edition books. You think about getting a tattoo of your baby photo just to prove you were once the future. Scientists proposed cloning, gene editing, even synthetic wombs, but all solutions had the same flaw: no one could reproduce. A team of researchers in Iceland thought they cracked it, but it turned out to be yogurt that glows. You wonder if aliens are watching and thinking, well, that experiment ran its course faster than expected. A black market rumor spreads, a hidden community of still fertile humans living off-grid, but no one ever confirms it. You start to dream of lullabies and cribs and imagine what a first cry would sound like in this silence. By year 10, the youngest humans on Earth are 10 years old, and every child is a statistical miracle. Birthday parties became international events, streamed live, sponsored by vitamin companies, and followed like royal jubilees. You tune into a third-grade piano recital with the same anticipation people once had for Olympic gold. Kids are now society's rarest resource, protected like endangered species and slightly spoiled like designer handbags. School curriculums change focus, math, yes, but also how to inherit Civilization 101. You imagine being 10 years old and knowing you're one of the last to ever be grounded. Teenagers grew up knowing they'll never be parents, no awkward birds and bees talk, just climate anxiety and robot ethics. High schools stopped offering career counseling. Instead, students pick from a shrinking list of final caretaking professions. You see ads for legacy coaches, therapists who help you emotionally prepare to be the last leaf on the tree. By year 20, toy companies shut down. The kids who'd use them are now adults with back pain. Malls became memory museums, escalators dusty, mannequins frozen, a time capsule for a generation that won't come again. You wander an abandoned toy aisle and feel nostalgia like a weight pressing behind your rib cage. Cities redesigned themselves. No more skate parks, but plenty of adult jungle gyms with joint support beams. The global economy did a strange pirouette. Fewer people meant less demand, but also fewer problems. Traffic vanished, housing prices dipped, and introverts finally declared, "We have won." You bought a beach house for the price of a used Prius and started painting like a post-apocalyptic Bob Ross. Old age became the new adulthood. Entire industries bloomed around active aging and stylish final decades. Every brand marketed to seniors. Anti-aging creams were now just wrinkle enhancement moisturizers because no one cared anymore. Your 65th birthday came with a starter cane, a bottle of wine, and a thank you card from the UN. Governments restructured, not to plan for the future, but to gracefully wrap up the human experiment. Retirement wasn't just accepted, it became sacred, a final lap in humanity's quiet relay. Diplomacy softened. World leaders stopped arguing over land and started collaborating on how to close the curtains politely. You remember when people argued over climate policy? Now they agree. We'll leave the planet tidier than we found it. Wild animals began repopulating abandoned suburbs. Deer in drive-thrus, owls in office cubicles, foxes giving TED Talks to squirrels. You walked through your old school and found raccoons living in the library reading Goodnight Moon like scholars. The internet changed too. Less about followers, more about digital time capsules and cloud-based obituaries. People started writing letters to the last humans, knowing someone someday might open them with trembling hands. AI flourished, not to replace us, but to remember us, curating humanity like a giant sentient scrapbook. You uploaded your photos into a bot that promised to tell your story with emojis and Chopin. Religion evolved, not about birth and rebirth, but legacy, wonder, and finding peace in final chapters. You joined a movement called the Good Ancestors, planting trees and preserving knowledge like you were terraforming nostalgia. Books became holy relics, not just fiction, but IKEA manuals, dog-eared cookbooks, and handwritten grocery lists. You walk past a library and feel a reverence once reserved for cathedrals and outer space. Some humans started creating eco-towns, tiny preserved villages for future alien tourists or curious AI archaeologists. You volunteer as a tour guide, explaining to robots why humans put pineapple on pizza and cried during commercials. Artists painted more than ever, not for fame, but to leave brushstrokes behind like emotional fossils. Every wall became a canvas, every sentence a will, and you unexpectedly became a poet. People stopped fearing death the same way. It wasn't personal anymore, just part of the shared fading. You look at your partner and say, it's strange, knowing we're the punctuation, not the beginning of a sentence. Language started shrinking. Slang disappeared, baby talk vanished, and lullabies became eulogies with soft melodies. You teach your niece, now 35, an old nursery rhyme, and both of you tear up halfway through. Some still searched for a solution. Lab-grown wombs, alien sperm, parallel dimensions, but hope was becoming vintage. Conspiracy theories thrived. Some said the rich escaped to Mars with a secret baby farm in orbit. You clicked through forums late at night whispering, "What if we're not the end, just the forgotten draft?" A movement called the Restartists rose up. Hopeful humans convinced life could resume someday, somehow. They gathered relics, froze DNA, and archived bedtime stories like seeds in a vault of dreams. You donated your voice to a time capsule. A simple, "Hello, I was here." By year 45, the youngest human turned 45. Still full of wonder, still haunted by echoes of playgrounds. Cities emptied slowly, like a concert after the last encore, lights dimming, laughter fading, benches growing moss. You travel more, not for adventure, but to touch every part of Earth before the curtain falls. People built gardens where malls once stood, and in those gardens they told stories to the wind. A child's laugh became the rarest sound. When heard in recordings, people stopped, smiled, and closed their eyes. You begin journaling daily, not to remember, but to be remembered. By year 49, the world had a quiet elegance. Less noise, more stars, fewer plans, more peace. You throw a dinner party with friends, no one mentions the end, but it lingers like candle smoke. The last year begins with birdsong, soft and oblivious, echoing through towns filled with wind chimes and books. You wonder if the Earth misses being full, or if it's just breathing again after a long, chaotic guest. A childless planet isn't a tragedy, just a plot twist the universe never bothered to explain. You pour a glass of wine, stand at the edge of the sea, and whisper, "We were here." The waves don't answer, but they keep coming, like applause that doesn't know the show has ended. And maybe that's enough.